Hi there, it's Bill with Smart Trades, and it's Sunday, August 29th, and it's about 4:45 p.m. Um, for what it's worth, the futures are up a little bit, and I don't know if you folks got my bulletin, but I was looking for a rally early on Friday after we made slight new lows in a variety of the indexes, and we had very bullish breadth divergences. I didn't have time to do an entire video, but I did send out a bulletin um, that said the longer term pattern, still worth noting, is the fractal relationship of the current market to 1987. If you've been watching my videos, I'm sure you've seen this before, but again, we are in so far in lockstep with the 1987 pattern. Now that said, the 87 pattern actually went sideways to lower for several days, and the current chart is a weekly chart. So if we do indeed follow that pattern, it should go sideways to lower for several weeks if we're following the 87 pattern out into the future. But time will tell. We'll see. Interesting to note, if we were to decline another full magnitude of scale down, in other words, I've called this decline 1.62 times A. If we go 2.62 times A down, if we get a full another leg down, which would be about 10,000 points from here, that would take us right into the 1987 zone, which would be very interesting if we follow that fractal to a T and then wind up, back in 1987 somehow in terms of market pricing. Again, I don't favor that scenario, but certainly worth respecting at this point, because a 10,000 point Dow decline is something we certainly don't want to be on the wrong side of, and it's a possibility. That said, here's the daily chart of the Dow with that bearish count, basically counting one down, a corrective ABC wave 2 back up, and a series of 1-2s off of the early August high. And here's a close-up of that pattern, and as you'll note, one down, two back up, one down, and we're working on two back up, which I would say should terminate if indeed this is the bearish scenario that we're working out around the 10,200 area basis the Dow. We have to go all the way up to about 10,480 to break this pattern, but I would be suspicious of the pattern if we go much higher than 10,200. And let's see, I'll take you to another chart here. I'm going to show you the more bullish scenario. I've superimposed, obviously, some very thick trend lines over the market here. And one of the reasons I did this is just to show, if you'll notice this decline, this is the NASDAQ cash, by the way. XX1 and XX2, these are exactly the same magnitude and slope trend lines, which I've superimposed over the market. And most folks are calling this decline a B wave rather than a portion of this decline. I think the fact that it's the magnitude, the slope, so on and so forth relate so well to this first decline, that this whole decline counts better as an A, and that indeed, and this has become my somewhat favored count, although again I'm going to be trading defensively until we break that bearish count, that we've got A down, and we're working on ABC back up, which basis the NASDAQ could take us to the gap around the 1950 level, or A equals C, which is a bit higher than that. And here's that count basis the Dow. Again, A down to the July lows in an ABC pattern. Again, that's a three-wave pattern, so the indication and the implication of that is that B is going to retrace most of wave A, and that would take us back to approximately the 11,000 area basis the Dow. Could even go a little higher, could go a little lower, but 11,000 would be a rough estimate at this time. First, again, we've got to break above that 10,500 area to break down that bearish pattern, but this is the this scenario that I think may be developing. We'll take it one step at a time. Getting back to the bearish pattern, I would be looking to sell any termination in the pattern around the 10,200 area basis the Dow. That probably comes in around 1,070 basis the uh, S&P cash, and we'll see how it goes. I wouldn't fade the strong breath we had on Friday, but if we were to go up and retest a slightly higher price and falter with weaker breath ratios, I would actually be looking to sell that, and then just see how it works out. If it, obviously, if it keeps on going, you want to get out right away. And on the other hand, if we go crashing through Friday's lows, that would be an indication that the bearish count's in force, and perhaps much lower prices are to come, but we'll take it one step at a time. First step, look for a place to get short around the 10,200 area basis the Dow. Hopefully that makes sense, and you're having a great weekend. Talk to you all next week. Thanks.